Welcome to Guarantee News. My name is Garrett Sims, and like usual, I don't like to do long intros. So we're gonna start off with just the same thing. If you're watching this video or any of my videos for a second, a minute, the entire video, scrolling through multiple videos for an hour, whatever it is, thank you. I appreciate it. Please subscribe to my YouTube page, GS Studios, GSTEWDIOS. Yeah. Tell your friends to subscribe, all of that good stuff. Thank you for watching. Now let's get to the point of this video. So, a Wish TV meteorologist, Ashley Brown Elliott, claims she was fired after questioning the station's treatment of black women. So she's been the meteorologist for Wish TV for about 7-8 years. She's been working as a meteorologist for about 10 years. She says she was fired because she didn't want to wear certain colors and she questioned the station's treatment of black women. She went on social media to talk about it and say that she was fired. And she also goes on to say that 8 black women have been fired from Wish TV for multiple reasons. We're getting to those. And Wish TV's parent company, which is owned by a black man, which makes this even more, this is a company that it's a Fox company. Let's just go out and say that it's a Fox company owned by a black. It's a Fox affiliate station owned by a black man being accused of discriminating black women for the things that we're going to get into this video. So watch that or continue to watch for that. We're going to go through an Indie Star article. We're going to go through what the guy said, the owner of the Wish TV. We're going to go through what he said. We're going to go through some comments on here, maybe a little bit, depending on how long we get. And then kind of just go through that. Sorry about that. The weather's changing. As I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. We're talking about an Indianapolis, Indiana story. The weather's changing. It's probably changing where you are from too. And with that comes allergies. So bear with me if I have a little bit of the sniffles. All right. But before we get into this story, which is not a story that you want to talk about, but a story I feel like needs to be talked about, I want to just put together like a little informational piece about what my goal is for Guarantee News and why I sit in this room and just do videos, news videos, and talk about whatever the heck I want. A, it is interesting to me, but B, it's because, I went to school for journalism and I care about telling the news. In that, and me saying this started from a video I did a couple of days ago, which is why I'm back on the YouTube. Go watch it. Ice detains 2 men in downtown Indy. The reason I'm doing this is because I want you to know when you're watching Guarantee News, my goal is to not just say my opinion, even though that's what I'm going to do. I want to give both sides of every argument, the hottest of the hot side and the coldest of the cold. Now, from different stories and different subjects, like the other side is kind of just gets into inhumane and evil, and I'll bring that out, and we won't give that, and I won't give that a voice. But if you're wanting to just watch something that is going to just give you your opinion or put people in places that are going to agree with your opinion, Guarantee News is not the show for you. If you want to watch something interesting where you're going to have people from different perspectives, that's the goal. Is I'm going to have people on the show with different perspectives to come on and respectfully, if I could talk, that's why I'm on here for, to talk. Have other people respectfully give their opinions. And until then, I'm going to do my best to, while I'm talking, give both sides, the hot and the cold, of every story that I tell and how somebody else can think about it. And I do that because we live in a world where everything is so argumentative and the news is so one side and they're trying to make you feel a certain type of way, and it's all opinion with the news, and you can tell it's steering you. And I'm going to give my opinion, but I'm going to give both sides. And I'm saying that to say, when you're watching, I mean, there is going to be times where you're maybe frustrated, or what is Garrett doing, or what is Garrett saying? He's trying to give the other side, and I'm always going to try to do that respectfully. But yeah, just wanted to say that. I know that was a little diatribe, but let's get back to the main point of this video, which is to talk about Ashley Brown Elliott. So we're going to go to this Indie Star article first that was written by Jordan Smith. So shout out to him. So let's just dive right into this. And let me take a look at my notes just to make sure we're on point. Yep. Okay. So After more than 6 years as Wish TV's chief meteorologist, Ashley Brown Elliott says she was fired last week after questioning the locally owned TV station's treatment of black women employees. Brown Elliott, who joined Wish TV in December 2018 after more than a decade as a meteorologist at other outlets, posted on social media Thursday that she took offense when station management asked her to stop wearing certain colors while on air. This is going to be a major point because I'll say, other black employees, we'll get into it. Other black employees allegedly were asked to remove their dreadlocks or told they were too curvy, according to Brown Elliott. The company has fired 8 black women over the past 2 years. And then let me read her post from social media. Shout out to National Black Guide, because I tried to look for the post. She's deleted it. But, with the whole footprint online stuff, you post something, it's not going anywhere, so they still have it. So let's go into this. I am no longer at Wish TV as a manager and chief meteorologist for 7 years. A chief meteorologist for 7 years, almost 10 years. I asked our company about its treatment of black women and was fired. My last employee review in December was the highest score possible, and I am a model employee. 8 black women have been fired from Wish TV in 2 years. Many have lawsuits pending. Why would a black-owned station make a reporter remove her locks or ask me to stop wearing colors or tell another woman they're too curvy? I'm okay. I plan to spend much needed time with my babies. Thank you for your prayers and support over the years. And then there's another post. An attorney, Ben Crump, Ashley Brown Elliott, says she was fired after speaking up about Wish TV's alleged treatment of black women. I got to say alleged because this is going to be more information, and we're going to keep up with stories. And if I'm wrong about something when I give my opinion, you know the whole thing if you can think about it. Got to say alleged. Treatment of black women, from being told what colors to wear to black women allegedly losing jobs for their natural hair or body shape. This pattern is alarming. Ben Crump, an attorney, I always say, who are we getting stuff for? I went a little too far with that. We'll go back to who that is. We're not going to be secret about it. That's the guy that owns the company that owns Wish TV, but couple minutes down the line, we'll get to that. This is Ben Crump, attorney. Ben Crump, trial lawyer for justice. Ben Crump is known for righting the wrongs and fighting for the underserved, often collecting millions of dollars for victims and their families. Benjamin Lloyd Crump, I have it so you guys can't even see what I'm reading. Benjamin Lloyd Crump is an American attorney who specializes in civil rights and catastrophic personal injury cases, such as wrongful death lawsuits. So let's go back to the article. So the company has fired 8 black women over the past 2 years, Brown Elliott said. So this is the first part where I want to stop and give a little bit of opinion or give a little bit of the two-side thing, right? So one side of this could be Wish TV has the right to say how they want people to look on air, how they want people to dress. But there's also the thing of, are these just conservatives, old, and arguably racist? And I'll go to say not even arguably racist ways of thinking. And the one of wearing your locks, I don't even need to say it, is especially in a way of a racist old way of thinking. The curvy one, I'll get into, and I'll just break it down here, right? So let's go to the one side of Wish TV has a right to say how they people to look on air. She's implying here that they're only doing this to black people and even more specific, black women. Because the thing of this is what it is. Curvy dreadlocks colors. So if these are the things Wish TV is saying they don't want on air, why are these people even hired and all these things going across the board for all of the people working there? Because I want to know what these colors are. This is the more information I want, because if she's being told I can't wear certain colors, can other people on air wear these colors? Can other meteorologists wear colors? We're going to go through the newsroom of Wish TV. If it's across the board, I do this to say, if it's across the board, you can't wear colors, you can't wear dreadlocks. The colors and the curvy, because not being able to wear dreadlocks, you shouldn't even just be able to say that, because what's the point of that? A. B, I don't think that's going to stop anyone from watching Wish TV for a meteorologist on an on-air personality that has talent wearing dreadlocks. And then this is Indianapolis. So I get people, I read the comments on those pages. People said, oh, this is Indiana. Indiana is Indiana. It's predominantly white it's predominantly white people who have, white people thinking the thinking most white people would have. Oh, we don't want dreadlocks, blah, 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 blah. But this is Indianapolis where she is, and I just think that you can't have that in there regardless. That's fucked up. I know the whole it can look unprofessional thing, but I don't agree with that. Now, the curvy and the colors. The colors are weird to me too. It feels discriminatory, but if you're going across the board with it, then I can't be mad at it. Like, if you don't like the color red in your company and you just can't wear red, if no one can wear red, then okay. But it sounds like, and implying from this post and from what we've read so far that she was the only one being told about the fact that you can't wear this certain color. And then the thing that makes your ear ring even more is that this is a pattern, right? That she's saying 8 black women have been fired in Wish TV for 2 years, and she mentions the locks and she mentions the curvy. The curvy thing is a thing that is attached to black women all the time. That you've probably seen the stupid Twitter post with like black women wearing just normal clothes, and because they're thick, it's unprofessional. Like that whole thing with women's bodies, that does happen. Like that's a fact. Now because there's curvy white women too. It's 2025. So if it's a curvy thing, are there curvy? Let's look through Wish TV's thing. Is it curvy black women? Even these words, is it curvy black women that aren't being allowed, or do you not like curvy altogether? And then if you're doing it that's body discrimination, and you can't. It's just not. That's not a good look. So already the fact of the argument of Wish TV can decide who they want to be on air for professionalism, with all 3 of the reasons that Ashley Brown Elliott is given, I can't give that other side any credence, because all of them, A, if they're not across the board, you can't do them. B, if they're doing it to only black women, and there's 8 black women that have been fired for 2 years, and it's for these reasons, it's hard to line it up to where it doesn't look weird and discriminatory. There has to be something where that comes out. If I come back and do like a retracement on this and say like, I was wrong, Ashley Brown Elliott was tweaking, which as you can tell at this moment, I don't think she was. It'll be because Wish TV is showing something where these rules, either she was just lying about being fired because of the colors and all this stuff, which I don't think that's it, or B, across the board, they don't let people wear certain colors, which I also don't think is going to be it. So, yeah, let's keep reading this article. But the whole thing so far, looking at the other side, I'm not really believing it, right? Now, they reached by Indie Star Monday. Brown Elliott declined to discuss her complaints any further for fear of damaging her future jobs prospects. Her last day on air was February 19th. That kind of makes me hard. Now, that kind of leads to and I'm going to get into this later down the article, but it's sad that now, because she was being discriminated against, because we're just taking her at her word right here from what I'm about to say. Now, because she's being discriminated against, she can't like get maybe the money she deserves in a lawsuit. She can't talk about it, bring the awareness to this, because she also has to take a step back. She said she has kids in that post. She has to take a step back and say, I have to get a job. Like, I have to do a career. And with all careers, with anything, most things are a tight-knit group. You go against one person here and you start not getting into anywhere. It's like a big thing. And I, as a journalist, know personally, once you get out of journalism, it's hard to get back in. That's like a saying. Once you get it's a whole thing. So it's like, now the fact that like she's not even replying to articles, and I'm sure she respects journalism, and I'm sure she wants to stand up and talk about this, but she can't, because if she does, she may not get jobs, and she deleted the post, which is probably leading towards that whole thing. So some people could be like, some people could be like, it makes her look bad that she doesn't want to talk about what happened to her. If you're not willing to understand the fact that by talking about what's happening to her, she could be changing her career, which is a whole nother fact. Like, just to give it a quick thing, like the Colin Kaepernick thing, like, and I'm not going to go into that, but that's like and that might be a bad comparison, but it's like, when you speak up for rights, you not only lose where you're at now, you can lose where you're at in the entire industry. And that's a decision you have to make when you want to stand against the conglomerate, the major business. That's why I always say it's always better to own something, right? It's better to own something so you can do what you want, when you can say what you want, you can feel people come to you with business. You guys are partners, not working for them. But that's just my personal feeling. Now, let's go into this article more. So the allegations raised questions about the TV station's new Indianapolis-based owner, Circle City Broadcasting, right? Circle City Broadcasting owns Wish TV. And they bought Wish TV and WNDY from Nexstar Media Group for $42.5 million in 2019. My dog's barking, probably had nothing. He's probably barking at nothing. Okay. So, yeah, Circle City Broadcasting, that's who owns Wish TV. They bought it for $42.5 million in 2019. The company's owner, this is where it gets saucy, a little saucier. Saucy is not the word because this is real people. I'm sorry. The company's owner, Indianapolis native Dujon McCoy, sorry if I said that name wrong, has emphasized his role as a black media executive, saying he is the first African American in the nation to have owned and operated a Fox affiliate station. And this is what he looks like. This is Dujon McCoy. He is the owner of Wish TV. You see it right here in this little picture. Wish TV is the owner. That's the thing. He's right there at the news. Wish TV. He owns Wish TV. He owns the company that owns Wish TV. This is the black man whose station at Fox, everyone knows CNN. If CNN is the left, as far as the left and liberal as it gets, Fox is as right as it gets. And this is the first African American in the nation to own a Fox affiliate station, and you're getting accused of having a habit of having discriminatory practice against black women and firing them for reasons that are not right. This gets into that conversation where, if anyone's going to bring black people down, it's going to be black people. That just gets into that conversation where it's just sad. Like, again, this is all allegedly, but when you see this story and then you read your five paragraphs down, and then you see not only is a news station discriminating against a black woman, which is a story we've heard before, as sad as that is, that's my dog, as sad as that is, now we're reading another... Bro, relax. Now we're reading... he's not going to leave. Now we're reading another thing, which is a black man hurting black women, black people being their own worst enemy. So that just makes this even worse. I'm going to have to pen for the next 10 minutes until I do the next video. Bro, relax. So, Wish TV and Circle City Broadcasting did not respond to Indy Star's request for comment on Monday. On Wednesday, McCoy sent a written statement in which he denied any wrongdoing, calling Brown Elliott's claims utterly false and defamatory. Let's go read what he said. So this is Wish TV. They posted this article, and here's what Broski said. So Wish TV President and CEO Dujon McCoy issued the following statement in response to recent articles published on the termination of former Wish TV meteorologist Ashley Brown's employment. So this is what he said. It's unfortunate Ashley Brown chose to end her employment with Wish TV and Circle City Broadcasting via her actions and request. I can assure you, the statements and social media posts that Ashley made and has since tried to remove are utterly false and defamatory. I stand by all the employment decisions my leadership team and I have made since taking ownership of Wish TV, and I look forward to defending them in a court of law if necessary. Simply put, we don't discriminate. We proudly have one of the most diverse newsrooms in America, which reflects the diverse communities that we serve every day. That gets into what I was talking about, how Indianapolis is a diverse community. It's not like the rest of Indiana. Across America, having certain rules that a person that has dreadlocks couldn't be able to work there is not wrong, but in Indianapolis, it's not right. It's not wrong. It's not right, and it's weird. But in America, even more. You have to go. Has to go out, of course. In Indianapolis, it's even more not right because Indianapolis is very diverse. So, but let's get into what he said a little bit. So, it's unfortunate that she left via her actions and requests, saying that she left. So he's saying we didn't fire her, she left. So maybe, we're getting, okay. Via her actions and requests, I can assure you the statements and social media posts that made that she since tried to remove. The since tried to remove is trying to get into that whole, she's removing them. She's not even standing on business about her statements. How can you believe her? We already got into that of how that works. So that's a good little, word flippage, but, you can look at that how you want to look at that. You can look at it that she's not talking and she's removing it because she's getting backlash and she's not right and she's lying and she got in over her head. Or you can look at it as, and this leads me into my next point, what it is to work for someone, to work in corporate America, in the games that can be played by the bosses, by the owners. And, hey, I can't stay here because they're discriminating, but I also want to work somewhere else. And if I go against them, this guy, Dujon McCoy, you think he doesn't know the owners of a million different news companies around the state, not just Indianapolis, but around the state? You think he can't make some calls? That's the other side of how you want to look at it. But I can see why she's not saying. Thankfully, he's walking away to go do something better with his time. But yeah, that's the way I look at it. I'm not gonna lie, but. And I just want to make the point of, with corporate America, everybody knows this, that anybody that's worked in corporate America knows this. And let me look at my notes to make sure I'm still going up, right? Let's see. Sorry about that. Let's see. Okay, look at this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyone that works in corporate America knows if they want you out, they're going to get you out of here, right? They're going to get you out of here. Whether it be because they say you're not doing a good job at work, whether they say you've been making problems with people. In America, in the corporate world, the bosses 8 times out of 10 do not care about you at all. They will fire you whenever they want. They will set up for 2 months, 3 months to fire you. They will treat you terribly and make you and gaslight you. They will, when you're looking for a job, they'll interview you a million times. They won't reply. The work situation is terrible. So it's easy for me to believe a lot of things just with how companies treat workers. There's not too much I wouldn't believe, just from personal experience and from hearing from people and just knowing how the corporate world works. If they want you out of there, they're going to find a reason to get you out of there, and that's just a fact. And if you're going to want to prove that they did something wrong, you're going to have to fight, right? So let's get back to this. He denied it. And simply put, we don't discriminate. McCoy wrote, "We proudly have one of the most diverse groups." You already read that. So Brown Elliott, an Indianapolis native who graduated from Ball State University, joined Wish after stints in Southern California. Okay, we don't need that. So other black women have also criticized the company's leadership in recent months. In a separate discrimination lawsuit against Circle City, so this is another discrimination lawsuit, and this was filed last August. A former black news anchor claimed she was fired after asking management why women anchors in primetime roles aren't paid more than male anchors with less viewerships. April Simpson, who joined Wish in September 2023, said in the lawsuit that she questioned McCoy after learning that 2 male anchors with lesser roles were paid the same $95,000 salary as her. Simpson anchored weekday evening broadcasts at 4 p.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m., while the 2 men worked weekends or mornings. This is the one where I get questionable. This one I'll say, my first thing when reading this is you're pocket watching. Why is she pocket watching? And if you're getting, I get the whole glass ceiling, women getting paid less than men to do the same jobs or more work. If she's getting paid less and she finds out, I get why you have to say something. But if she's getting paid the same amount, I not knowing the inner workings of that company, I can't say that's wrong. Like she's saying, and like the same salary as her, $95,000 a year. Simpson anchored weekday evening broadcast at 4 p.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m. So she's doing a lot of work while the 2 men worked weekdays or mornings. So it's basically saying she did a lot more work than them. So just putting A plus A, like 1 plus 1 is 2. A, B next to C. If I'm doing more work than you, I should be getting paid more than you. But business, that's discriminatory. It could be or it could not be. That's a tough one. I can't. The way everything else so far seems really bad, and I can't really give credence to the other side. This one I can more so because it's like you're pocket watching. You're pocket watching, which is, it's never right to pocket watch. It's never right to pocket watch. I guess that's the way I'll say this. But when you put it into account that this woman is going through this, and then you have 7 other women that are going through other things at the same exact place, and these are black women, then you have to add the context of where maybe this does become something different. So this is a double. This one's a double one. This one's different, if you can get what I'm trying to say here. All right. 2 months after her inquiry, Simpson claims she was sent home with little explanation. 2 days later, on April 5th, 2024, she received a termination letter saying she was fired for failing to take feedback seriously and adapt to the digital media environment, appearing unengaged on camera and struggling to read the teleprompter. Simpson accused Circle City Broadcasting for breaking federal laws protecting African Americans, women, and people with disabilities from discrimination in the workplace. Most of the difficulties mentioned in the termination letter were due to blindness in her left eye caused by a brain tumor, according to the lawsuit. In October, these 2 parties agreed to attempt to settle the dispute in arbitration. Simpson said she could not comment on the case when reached by Indy Star Tuesday. Okay, couple things with that to end. So let's get to the point of, let's go back. She received termination. She was fired for failing to take feedback. This was 2 minutes later after mentioning how I'm getting paid less. When I got back what I was talking about 3 minutes earlier. If they want you fired in corporate America, they will find a reason. And the fact that she had something going on with her eye, which they already knew about, and they probably didn't fire her. But this is, anytime you tell your job something at HR or anything, they will use that against you when it's time to fire you. All the things that you asked for, or help, or hey, this is going on with me, And they said, yeah, that's cool. They will bring that up when they're firing you. That's just corporate America. That just gets to it. It's like, if they wanted her gone, there was going to be a reason. And the fact that she had a tumor that was affecting her left eye, it's easy to wrap it up. That gets more to the side of they're doing fucked up things. If I had to just be honest with you about how I want to call it, it sounds like they're being discriminatory, and it's sad to see. We're going to keep up with this, but that's how it sounds. Now, getting back into it, most of the difficulties mentioned in the termination letter were due to blindness in her left eye caused by a brain tumor, according to the lawsuit. The timing of it is scary, because if she had a brain tumor and she was sick and you guys didn't want her there, why, fire 2 months after she's asking about paying pocket watching, which I will say is not the best thing to do, but okay. But then you get into, in October, the two parties agreed to attempt to settle the dispute in arbitration. And I looked up what this is because I didn't major in law. So let's see. Arbitration. And it's basically saying that we're going to settle it quietly outside of court by a third-party person. Arbitration is a process for settling disputes outside of court using an impartial third-party called an arbitrator. It's often a faster and less expensive way to resolve a dispute than litigation. So it's basically like, let's get this done quietly. But if they're doing it quietly, you can't talk on an article when Indy Star comes and calls you 4 or 5 months later because she did this in October and wants to talk about the next woman that's been fired months after you. And that gets to that conversation again of them not talking. Why are they not talking? Because they're getting their hands tied and they're just workers for a bigger company, so they don't have as much money, power, time, and resources to fight against this discrimination. You have to keep that in mind. But there is going to be the other side that is going to say, look at this. These women aren't even speaking on their own accord. They're just coming and blowing the whistle and then not even telling us why they're blowing the whistle for. That's the argument that I feel like another side would have. I would say, though, until I see more information, like I said, information that says that across the board they have rules that are saying these things, or really that's going to be the main one, or something that just comes out that shows that these women are lying. Until one of those two things happen, I'm leaning more on believing them. And that's just the fact of the matter with it. And really, and this is where I wanted to end with this, is kind of the question of how to prove if this is going on. Is this a discriminatory place? And will anything happen to Wish TV? And probably not. If one of them is suing and then they go and do it in an arbitration, that's going to get handled quietly. Whatever happens with this, it will probably be handled quietly or flooded into the background. Now, I do want to, just for the sake of argument, look at Wish TV. Wish TV reporters. And I am not a Wish TV guy. I don't watch Wish TV. I watch a lot of news. I'm more of a WTHR. I do watch Fox 59 because I like Angela Gannott. We're going to go through those, but let's just look through the newsroom. So we got these people: Evening Acre, Daybreak, Brittany Noel. Let's just look through people. Let's just look through. I'm not even going to say anything. These are the meteorologists where she worked for 7 years. That's a chief meteorologist. Let's just look through. These are reporters. This guy has my name, Garrett. He's a government reporter. Okay. This is the newsroom for Wish TV. I don't watch Wish TV again. I think it's interesting to show for you to get whatever you think from that. I'm not even going to say anything. Now, WTHR, I'm just going to show them because I fuck with WTHR. I will say I watch WTHR. I'm a WTHR guy. Angela, I'm not even going to say your name. Buckman. I fuck with Angela. Live Doppler 13 meteorologist. She's meteorologist. I fuck with her. Chuck Lofton. You fuck with Chuck Lofton. You know who Chuck Lofton is. Close this. What's going on? Okay, Chuck Lofton. Dominic Miranda. I fuck with him. Emily Longnecker. State House reporter. Fuck with her. Felicia Lawrence. Fuck with Felicia. Jayla Brooks. Jenny Runovich. I think I know the name just off hearing it so many times. Jenny Runovich. You feel me? I fuck with all of them, but there's Karen Campbell, Lauren. I'm not gonna say her last name, but like I fuck with. I'm a WTHR guy, right? Matthew Fultz, Rich Nye. I'm a WTHR guy. Wish TV, I'm not a fan of. This is kind of giving me maybe a reason to not be a fan of Wish TV even more. I would be very interested because we saw the white people on Wish TV there. I would be very interested to put a lie detector test about how it is working in that newsroom. Would be interested. Just me talking out of curiosity. But this is a story I just wanted to report on. But if you want me to ask you what happens, Wish TV is going to keep reporting every day. The guy that owns it is still going to own it. And you can just hope for the best for you just want to hope for the best for Ashley Brown Elliott. And if she was there for 10 years, the comments that I saw read that she was a class act, that she did a good job. I was looking on Twitter. I saw a reverend talk about how good she does. You pray that she gets a better place to work at for more money, where she's respected. And you hope the women that have been fired from there, if everything is how they're saying, and Wish TV doesn't have a problem with this, you hope they go on to better places. But more importantly, if Wish TV is doing what they're doing, you have the guy that owns it and the management and the companies, you hope they get what they have coming to them. Karma. That's what you would hope. But just had to talk about this story. And I think it's interesting. These stories like this are going to be easier to get swept under the rug because the president slashing everything, slashing DEI everywhere. However you feel about it, these stories are not going to get the same maybe attention, maybe the same finish. And then in the court of law, they're not going to get the same care and love I think they deserve, because discrimination in the workplace against black people, especially black women, is real, and discrimination of black people does happen. Like, black people would discriminate against black people. That does happen. I mean, so that makes it even sad again, but I will keep up with this as much as possible to try to at least find out, like, hey, is any more stories like this happening again? Because then that gives more credence to the fact that this is true. And then hopefully we see Ashley Brown Elliott somewhere better with more money. And shout out to her, shout out to her family. And yeah, I have the right to come back and say if something comes out where I might have been wrong about my feelings. But yeah, that's an episode. Again, if you watch this, please subscribe to GS Studios. Same thing as usual. We're going to go to smurbo.com. Smurbo. New Smurbo coming out soon. If you watch Guaranteed News, you know I don't even need to say it. These are handmade flannels. We're getting into summer. Sorry. I had to put my knee up. I've been sitting down for a while. Handmade flannels. Allow 3 weeks for shipping because he's making them for you personally. We're getting into the springtime. You want a flannel. You're going to wear a flannel. Why not wear a handmade one that you're not going to get anywhere else? And then when you go to Smurbo, take account of the fact that everything else is sold out. This cool green zip-up hoodie sold out. All of these socks sold out. All of these hats sold out. All of these vests sold out. It's because when Smurbo drops something, it sells out. And there's going to be a new drop that is going to be releasing soon of hoodies that are similar to this one, a zip-up style, different colorway. I will say that we will be keeping up with them and keeping up with the drop, because I will say when Smurbo drops something, he does not drop it again. So this is your chance to get it. Get it while you can. When it drops. You can still get these flannels, but this you can get when the next drop comes. Get it while you can. I'll be saying that when it comes out. Now let's go to Twitter for our next shout out. We do these shout outs every time. Shout out to D Hicks. I'm showing. All right. I just gave you guys maybe a little bit of information that you didn't even need. I just gave you some information for free. Go get some more information from D Hicks _trades Twitter. Learn how to get into the stock market. We're supposedly going into a recession soon. There's a trade war going on that I'll be talking about on this page very soon. You want to make money while you can. Buy the dip, as they say. Whatever they say, he's going to be able to tell you if it's right or not. D Hicks _trades. Go to that Twitter. Just follow it. It's free. Then go to that Linktree. Follow his Discord. Get good information about how to make your money grow. We've been recording for 33 minutes. This is a longer episode than I thought. We're going to try to tighten these up, but I hope you guys like them. If you're watching towards now, tell your friends to watch, comment on this, go to my Instagram or go to Instagram at GS Studios and DM me saying what you want me to talk about. DM me important stories that you think I'm missing out on. When you're watching these videos, comment what you think, comment on if I'm not giving the right side, comment what your opinion is, respectfully. Don't be disrespectful, please. It's the internet, so if you are disrespectful, it's not going to hurt me. Well, it probably will. This is my channel, but I'm not going to mumble. But comment how you feel if you don't agree with what I'm saying. I do appreciate that. And yeah, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, stay prayed up, stay safe. Have a great rest of your night.